flat out sideways, backwards, lock brakes up, walk tyre out till it bust. Part 2 of the S5 video. So we have been out in this, we have been on track accidentally, so we'll put a couple little clips of what we're going on there because I did record it. Right then, unscheduled video. So this should be a Caddy, but it's not. It's our new S5 track car project. So the Caddy's having issues, so Danny's there. He's let me his GoPro because for some reason I ain't got one of them either, so we're very underprepared today. So yeah, basically this is going to get its maiden outing on track because, as you can see, it is damp, and the testing we want to do on the TT isn't really going to work if it's not dry because we're doing damper testing and stuff like that. So this might be crap, might be good. It's got Sport Contact 7 Continentals on the front and some Vedestine Winters on the rear, so it's not going to be good. The rear brakes are dead, we've not even bled the fluid, and it hasn't had its service yet, so I'm not going to go crazy. A few laps, see what I think about it, and then that might help us with his plight later on. So we'll see. Let's get out in it, see what we think.
You can definitely tell the rear grip isn't really there. I don't know a lot about this car. Obviously it's definitely not a Volkswagen Caddy, but Darkside want to try and build a car to have as like a track day car, something they can just drive in. They want something they can just jump in, drive to the track, have some fun, drive home.
So, first impressions, very good. Few, what I'd consider, considering what the car is, sideways moments. On corner entry you can get it to break a bit loose, which is good, and corner exit you definitely can. So yeah, really happy with that. It felt really good. Brakes, we knew they were going to be bad, they're still absolutely red. Look at the state of them. The brakes are dead, we knew that anyway. So they just want to bleed up and maybe some new pads. Rear ones, they seem better than the one are, but yeah, really good. A few race cars out there at the same time, and yeah, they didn't embarrass it, so I think that kind of the sort of speed we're going for. We're never going to be as fast as the TT, but if we can be quicker than the Clios and Civics and stuff on track, then you're not going to be looking in your mirrors all the time and pulling off a pro. First impressions, very happy, and we're not even tuned in on anything to it, so yeah, very good. But Scott didn't record what were the most dramatic part of what happened, and that was sideways, then backwards at 120, maybe 130 mile an hour, skidding, because he's braking as hard as he could because he thought he was going to hit a barrier and have to come and explain to me why he just crashed my car. Popped a tyre, flat spotted all 4 tyres, which we've got them in truck. I think I took a picture, but maybe we'll get a better picture of them. So yeah, so what that meant is, it was lucky that we'd done this S5 video, so it's just getting ready to go for its MOT, because after we'd paid for it, sorted it, transferred it into our name, just about to tax it, and it turned out that the MOT had run out, so luckily we had trade plates. But anyway, so we've got it on the ramp now to have a look at it, see if there's anything wrong. I noticed this, which I thought were quite interesting, all these little holes in here, which they must be some sort of cooling holes, so this is in between the radiator and the intercooler. So yeah, that's a cooling thing, so looks like a drill is coming back out in the car modifying scene, so instead of drilling your airbox, drill your bit in front of your under tray, and that does something, according to Audi. But we could see all this weird stuff sticking out, and then, oh, this is, yeah, so something definitely had a home in there at some point. which I know this car has been in storage at some point in its life, but yeah. And if you watch the first video, you'll see it was the Audi press car. A few magazines got hold of it. We'll try and find all the magazines that got hold of it actually. But anyway, so we're having a little look under it. All the aluminium is just like a bit powdery. Like this is all right, but everything else a bit powdery, but no real oil leaks. Looks a bit wet here, but that's because Luke's just top coolant hooks are a little bit out of it. But 685,000 mile, bushers, ball joints, all that sort of stuff looks all right. This one's got a little bit of play in it, but they always have on these anyway. So I think we'll probably end up throwing a Powerflex bush in there. These arms, we might end up upgrading them to some adjustable ones, so the bottom one and the top one, which are really skinny, them ones. Everything on this is really, really thin and light. So front brakes are pretty big already, but Scott's already got plans, as we've said. Look at this EGR set up, low pressure EGR going all the way up to the turbo there. So that's it. Throttle valve to try and keep some back pressure in. DPF and all that jazz is up there, hiding away in the hottest place, secondary cart. Yeah, a little bit of rust here and there, like usual new car stuff. The fasteners are not as well coated as other stuff. Yeah, looks all right, Andrea. I don't know if anybody's like screaming to say, look at this, because that's a common problem, because I didn't know on these. We have got a full setup from an RS4 to see what difference is in the rear arms. And the big thing I noticed with that, it were all very light. So all these arms added together and the hub were very light. And the only difference in the hub's a little bit wider, but anyway. One of the receipts that we got with this car, I think like a £3 receipt, or at least one of the receipts that we should have got, well, for this E-diff. So this is like the sports diff upgrade. I can't remember how much it is, but it was an expensive upgrade. And it looks like these two sensors are brand new, so whether that means them sensors were faulty or whether Audi do the normal parts scan and diagnostics, I don't know. I don't know why it says that it's got the tyres written on it, like which side the wheels are from. I don't know why it's got that, so maybe there were another set of wheels on this car, I don't know. The front and rear tyres are not matching, but that don't matter. Get rid of them anyway. That, it looks sooty, but it's not an exhaust tip. Don't know why it's like that. And I think behind that is a speaker, so that's what makes it sound not like a diesel. So that's the only working exhaust, as you can see. So fakery. So yeah, I think there's nothing really to look at here. We'll see how much of that crap we get out from in between. Put the under trays back on, and then I need to hurry up and take this for its MOT, and then we'll see if it fails. It's the most standard car we've got, so if it fails, there's something horrible wrong. And I did notice that hanging down, so I'll put that in there. Look at that, like brand new. I fixed something. So one of the other things, thought might as well, while I'm in a mad rush and cars on a ramp, it might not be on a ramp for a few weeks, and we need to know this straight away. But these are the TT rear wheels. These are TT front wheels, so 295, 3018 on the fronts is what we run, and these are 295, 35, 18 is what we run on the rears. Now, I think if the fronts fit, Scott will be happy because he just wants as much tyre as possible on this car. I think if the rears fit, it'll be cheaper in the long run. So that's the tight Yorkshireman coming out of me, because, hear me out, the only tyres that we have ready from the fronts, it'll be dead TT front wheels with dead TT front tyres. But if we use the rear tyres from the TT and the wheels, I'm hoping that just the wheels and tyres go straight on with no adjustments to offset. That means we can put the brand new ones on, use them till they're not dead, but get in there. Then we can put them on the TTs, because the TT drives better with dead rears on. You don't want the new rears that they move a bit too much and then they grip up and then you end up understeering. Science. But anyway, let's see which ones fit. Let's see how it goes. What we got? Should we go to the tyre or the wheel? I feel like the wheel, but no, we'll go to the tyre and then we know if it's been catching. There's literally 5mm there, and then on inside, oh my God, there's like nothing there. Can't get my fingers down back onto that. I don't know, not be able to see when I'm not getting my fingers in there, but just imagine something that you can't get your finger in. On back, there's absolutely bags of room, which nobody in the right mind would put a bigger rear tyre on. We can't stagger them. There's about 10mm, on there. So 5 on front, 10 at back, right. Let's get it up in air and just get it sorted. So we're a 275 square standard. 295s are definitely going to fit up back, but let's try the 295 up front first. That makes more sense. And stick in the comments if anybody knows what the only factory front wheel drive or 4-wheel drive car that's got staggered wheels on, front to rear. It's an Audi RS3. Yeah, they don't look as crazy as they do on TT, like, do they? Oh, it's on. Oh, it's close still, but it's on. There's tons of brake clearance. Look at that. Yeah, we don't need any more brake clearance. Yeah, way too much of them, aren't they? So we've got. I'm measuring it other way around now. Yeah, there's 25mm of poke on front there, so they're not going to work. If we put absolutely tons of camber on the front, they definitely work. Yeah, we're not going to get that width of wheel on this car at all. It was nearly touching that back bit there. This looks a bit more realistic. If you're wrestling with a wheel this much on your car, it's not going to fit. Looks about right, that, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're still pretty close. I can just about get my finger in here, which is all right. It's not tons further away. We've got about 4mm. The rim sticks past, because you want the rim on a track car to be sticking past your tyre. You want it to be stretched more than bulbous, which is the kind of opposite on a road car for your comfort. But yeah, that fits all right actually, doesn't it? So there's nothing to catch up back here. So if you really were crazy and wanted a wider rear tyre for understeery reasons, you could do it. It's not close to out there. It wants a spacing on back, I think. See, it depends how much them coilovers are going to lower it, but they're not massive lowering coilovers, you know, they're not meant to slam it. So, my first impression, at this ride height, there's not enough wheel there. But do we want to go up to a 19 or a 20 and a smaller tyre? Not sure what AO52 widths we can get in the bigger diamonds. I think we can get some. Might get a 275 or whatever. We'll be able to get something near to this. So if we are going to do something different to what's on the TTs, it's going to have to be a 10-inch wide. Might get a 10.5 maybe, but probably a 10. And it's going to have to be 265, 275. I don't think we're going to get anything wider than that. But I think we'll wait. We don't have to make any decision on this because we're still going to have wheels that fit over the brakes and on the car. Maybe having a little bit smaller wheel, you're dropping it down, you're having a lower centre of gravity, and you're not messing the geometry up as much. Gives a bit more scope to lower the car a bit more, but I don't want to hurt the geometry as well. But at the minute, looking at how the geometry is, it looks like the camber's gaining a little bit, but we're going to have to play with the camber anyway, because this has got, I don't know how much it's got, but not a lot. So, we'll see. This would be a good first test, putting these tyres on and seeing. But yeah, not 100% convinced just yet. Let us know what you think. Yeah, I don't want to buy any more wheels. We've got tons of these wheels and they're not all getting used at once. So anyway, we'll see. So luckily we had test fitted the wheels previously to make sure that we weren't going to have any hassle. So we did want 295s to fit. 295s just won't go on this car with wide arches on the front, and then doing some weird stuff on the back, or at least machining them down so that they'll be very tight at the back, and then we need to just make some arches fit, which is beyond the scope of this car. Weren't too impressed with having to put a slightly narrower tyre on than the car came with from factory. The overall diameter is a lot smaller, obviously including the tyre. Obviously the rim's 2 or 3 inches smaller, but the tyre is a lot smaller, which has lowered the car quite a bit, which doesn't hurt things. We are messing up your suspension geometry, but these wheels do look lost in these arches. So we've got Oulton's road and track suspension coming. It's not here yet, but when that does come, we're hopefully going to be a bit lower, but that doesn't lower it tons. I think we'll probably not get it as low as it'll look good, but the Oulton stuff doesn't go too low, so you don't absolutely knack up all your geometry and just start ploughing on, which is what a lot of people do. So yeah, we've got that. It's on its way. I think that's the only thing we need to mention that's not here yet, maybe. So obviously the big mods, talked about the suspension. I don't like putting big front anti-roll bars on. It does make cars feel a bit better on the road, but you still want that little bit of roll on track. So we'll leave the front anti-roll bar, which it's got a decent size one on anyway. The rear one's quite small, I think it's 19mm, so we're going to put a 25mm one on the back. We've got some adjustable arms on the way, which they're not going to be here for this next track day, which is why we're going to do things a bit weird maybe, because there's just no camber on this. If we just run these tyres on track, we'll just destroy them. These need probably 3 degrees camber, and we've got probably half with looks of things. So adjustable arms for the rear, toe and camber. The toe arms make a massive difference. That was a big thing with these. So we've got a fair bit of toe in. The front arms, they're all adjustable. The arms that we don't change, if the bushes are worn, we're going to change them for some power flex, but we haven't even had a look at them yet, or even which ones are available. But we'll sort that out before we get to that point. That's after this week. The rear brakes are already shot, so we're going to do that today, which we'll look at them in a minute. The front brakes, clean them up and leave them at the minute, but then when the Caddy's done the Nürburgring trip, the brakes from that should fit straight onto this, so that's the plan there. Got a roll cage to test fit, which is the one that came out of Gav's RS5, which that's red as well, which it works out nice, but that's for a B8 platform. I don't think it's going to fit. If it doesn't, then we can send it to SW for them to fit one. I don't think that's going to happen on this video. Scott wants it to, but... Seats, we've got the carbon fibre ones that were from the 125D. Not sure if they're going to go in there just yet, and they'll be, I think we'll do the seats in the roll cage probably when I come back from holiday. Only a little thing, we've got an upgraded gearbox mount to put in there, which I don't know whether we need it or not, but we need to check if the one we've got fits this platform anyway, so we might as well. We do have later down the line, big turbo, intercooler, all that sort of stuff. Obviously we've not even talked about remapping it and stuff. These are already pushed very hard as standard to get 340 horsepower. So in theory, how I see it, but we'll see what happens in reality. If we tune this up to 400 horsepower, which we can get that out of it, it won't do many laps of the track, because in one lap at a track like Silverstone, it's like probably the equivalent of you sitting on the motorway and trying to do a top speed run for 5 minutes. It's just going to absolutely destroy everything, or at least you're going to be sat on your EGT limiters, which is no fun when you're on track. We're going to incrementally build up and see where we can get, where we find an happy medium. We might end up at 340 standard, we might end up at 360, 370, but we can just keep going around all day. That's what I prefer, or a lot of people just want the maximum they can have for as long as they can have it and deal with it afterwards. I want to have it all the time. So we'll see how that gets on. We don't really need to do any of that stuff just yet. The main thing is this that we've got here. So this is what we're doing to make sure the car is ready to go on track, really. We didn't want to use it as hard as we did the other day. We are servicing it, but the rear brakes, obviously, they're already dead, so we're going to do them. Brembos, I think these are TY3 discs. Oh, no. So yeah, they're the TY3 discs. They look all right. Brembo, yeah. We've got front diff oil, the centre diff oil. They are separate on these. We've got the RBF 660 fluid, which I don't know if I'm going to put that in just yet. I'm not sure. I might just flush the normal stuff through, but I think that is what it's going to end up with. Got the 8-speed gearbox oil, and I think there's some, that's the sump and all the other bits for that, which we did want the genuine ZF one, but they're out of stock at the minute. They've been a few days too late. What's in here? Air filter, so standard air filter. The pollen filter, we already swapped it because we've had the fumigation system in because it smelled a bit of smoke in the car. These are all the little bits and bats. Those sump plugs, there's 4 of them, wherever in here somewhere, 4 sump plugs. They're 40 quid, which made me feel ill. We've got the Rowe Sunspeed oil, so this is plant-based oil. This is the right stuff for us, so we're going to put that in and see how we get on with that. Obviously, genuine oil filter, fuel filter, and then these things here, we've got 2 different ones to check. So these are Audi RS3, which we'll list these on the website. These are the RS3 factory. These bolt, like, tie up to the bottom arms. They're brake ducts, so we're going to put them on. Or these are the Porsche Macan ones that we do. These do the same thing, clip on a little bit differently, but you end up just tie wrapping them on anyway. So I think it's more likely them ones will fit, but the Macan's nearer to this chassis. I want them ones to fit, they seem a bit different, but it don't really matter. Either one of these is going to fit, and by the end of this video, you'll know which ones fit. And so I'm absolutely up to my eyeballs in it today. I ain't even got time to do this, but I'm doing it. So get the oil flush in, because that, I think, I might be wrong, other people tell me otherwise. All the little bits of crappy oil get stuck in all the little tensioner things on the chain and all the oil supply galleries and stuff. Flush it out, should be able to get fresh oil to it. We'll see, and then we won't need chains in this when it's done 150,000 miles. Yeah, so we'll get that in, get it running, we'll go from there. How much crap's coming out of these side skirts to be worth taking them off and cleaning them at some point. In 10 years that'll be somebody's problem when they're all rotten, won't it? Engine oil's pretty much stopped dripping. Get onto the gearbox oil now, try and get you clamped up somewhere. Take you to your new home. Oh, it's still warm. Coming out now, it's leaning a bit. It's like all engines falling down here. Ooh. Right, maybe I should have supported that a bit more. Never had one of these off in my life. There we go. Just keep lagging it. Looks fairly clean, that transfer oil. So the back of the engine's got to go right up, that's got to go like that, and then it should. There, oh, it's coming, and it just comes out. That is, oh no. Can't believe how much oil's still coming out of this. So let's get the new one. Oh yes. So if you haven't got one of these, you will not be able to do this. Tell me the other tool that you can use for them 3 bolts. So they're all on tight, not torqued. I'll torque them in a second. Just gonna get this sorted while I just put the bungs in this one and not tighten it up. It might as well not be in if it's not tight. There, we're on. Wow, one-handed spanner in. It's no good. Oh, I'm flicking ratchet round and everything. That'll do it. That were 2 human ugga-duggers. I want a manufacturer to make cars that you don't need to take the carry it off to do brakes. Makes me feel ill every time I have to do it on every car I've ever had. Oh, this is annoying. Scott doesn't think we should, but I want to remove these, so while the discs are off, very satisfying when all that corrosion drops off. Hopefully you can see it. That one didn't do it. That's one off. So now we should get some air from us. I bet my cans have got a big hole in that. Let's try and find a picture. I'm guessing here. Yes. So we've gone full blown here. Genuine discs, because they're going to stay on for a while. And oh, the cheapest Brembo pad, so hopefully they're not on fire tomorrow. The disc is nice though. Clean, always clean it. Shiny, shiny. Warning sensor. So as if by magic, it was definitely not Harry who fitted them tyres, it was me. So don't ask any more questions. So it goes, where's the logo? Yokohama Sport 107, V107. So tested these at the Nürburgring. I don't think I've had the 107s on my car, I've had the 105, so let's get them fitted. So the reason we've not gone to the AO52s just yet, I don't know if I've said it, this has got no camber at the minute, so we need to swap this top arm for an adjustable one, and these top arms here, where are they? Up here, swap these for adjustable ones, then we can get camber, and then we're not going to be resting on the outside edge of the tyre, because your car just don't grip when you're doing that. You get more grip, then you get less grip, and you just kill your tyres. So anyway, let's get these on. This is what you do with leftover bolts. In the bin. Produce some scrap. Test drive. So far so good. Big brake. Brakes haven't fell off. So I'm still alive from stress and brake-induced things. All good. So tomorrow, Oulton Park, here we come. So hope it all goes to plan.